Hello, everyone. This is Shanda J, your BCBA. Who I have here with me is Micheal G. What we're going to talk about is the application of artificial intelligence in applied behavior analysis. So, just a little background about Micheal. Micheal, you started off as an analytic data engineer, initially as an intern in 2021 to 2022. Then from there, he had a position as a technical product manager from 2022 to 2023. And in 2018 up until now, he was the founder of Dewey Smart. And over the summer, he actually started, I'm sorry, please help me out, Micheal, is Alpaca Health?
That's right, Alpaca Health.
Yes. So thank you for joining us today.
It is great to be here. I'm excited to really talk about how AI can hopefully help all the BCBAs out there.
Yeah. So my first question is, what inspired you to utilize your skills to enhance the field of ABA? I mean, you could have did anything, but you decided to go down this route. What inspired you to do this?
My background is from education, having built an online education company. And one of the things that was immediately obvious is that if we had a child with learning differences or in a special needs classroom, they were always underserved. And so it's always been a place I want to dig into and learn more about. And this year I had the opportunity to go to ABAI and learn about the clinical application of ABA to folks with autism and obviously beyond as well. And I really fell in love with the science. I think it just made sense to me, right? Reinforce good behaviors, don't reinforce negative behaviors.
Yeah.
But when I talk to clinicians, they love talking about the science and the clinical stuff. And then when I asked them what they didn't like to do, they started talking about session notes and paperwork, all of this documentation that is incredible how much there is in ABA as compared to even other types of healthcare. And so that's when I started putting on my technical hat on and started thinking about how new technologies like artificial intelligence could help clinicians only do the clinical work because technology was doing the documentation, the paperwork, the mundane stuff that nobody went into this field doing. And so that's kind of like my journey and then how sort of a tech/education person found his way into the world of ABA.
Yes. And I'm so glad to hear that you were inspired to create tools for BCBAs and just the field in general, because like you said, when we go into school and we get that education, there is really no tutorial on case management. There is no tutorial on task management. It's basically just the principles and the concepts and the ethics of being a BCBA. So for you to create an AI tool, and by the way, I did not explain this to my audience, but Micheal is the creator of Alpaca Health. It's an AI app that makes it more efficient to do the documentation portion. But I think it's awesome that you decided to go this route because that's not something they teach us in school, So for you to have this tool, you're going out of your way, you're meeting different people in the field, figuring out where the deficits are just to create that barrier. That speaks volumes. Speaks volumes is definitely needed. Yes.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've at this point talked to over 120 BCBAs, including you now, Shanda, about the challenges that y'all face in your work. And so our Alpaca Assistant, first of all, it's totally free, so anybody can get on our website and try it. It's HIPAA compliant, and you can read more about what that actually means on our website. Everybody says they're HIPAA compliant, but we actually tell you how we are. And you can use it to listen to all of your sessions, and we'll automatically generate a professional, medically necessary note that will pass the sniff test of any payer, whether it's an insurance company or a government funder, so that we can help clinicians really focus all of their time, their energy on what really matters, which is serving clients.
Yes, and for our audience that's listening right now, I will have the link to the free, yes, I said free, thank you, Michael, free AI assistant tool that you guys can use. It will be in the comment section. So just let everybody know the app that he's referring to, it will be in the comment section of this video. So, yes, thank you, Michael. Thank you, because it's definitely needed because a lot of the bulk of our jobs is that whole documentation component. So utilizing this tool, you guys, I've actually personally used it with Michael, and it's very beneficial. Yes. So, Michael, my question to you, now that, you started the framework with, your alpaca health and your personal experiences just being in the field, what are some of your long-term goals in regards to enhance the field of ABA and AI?
Yeah. Well, right now on our website, we have just the tip of the iceberg, which is helping BCBAs automate writing session notes and also treatment plans. But from here, we are building tools so that any BCBA out there can start their own business or can run their own agency much more efficiently. We're helping BCBAs get enrolled with payers and insurance companies. We're building software to automate the intake process of new clients, documentation, scheduling, billing, so that the goal is every BCBA out there can either start their own business and serve the clients the way you guys want to serve them, and also for the BCBAs out there that already have their own businesses and agencies, help you run them more effectively, efficiently, and sustainably. Because we know that ABA is hard enough, the clinical side is hard enough, that running an entire business that's operationally intensive and difficult to manage, it can be overwhelming. And that's why burnout is so high in this field. And so we really want to come in and really bring the joy back in ABA and help clinicians focus on clients, and we focus on everything else.
Yes, and I'm so glad to hear that's your long-term goal. And I do want to say to the BCBAs that are listening or anyone that is in the field, if you're not a business owner and you work at an agency, please ask the agency if it's okay to use these tools. And I just say that because even though AI is slowly but surely evolving, becoming a tool and a resource we can use, some agencies still are hesitant with using different AI technologies due to hackers and compliance and things of that nature. So before you use the tool, make sure you follow up with your supervisor first, just to make sure it's okay for you guys to use it. All right. So my next question to you, Michael, in the future, AI is going to be the norm, right? I mean, it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be more socially acceptable when it comes to using them during our assessments in regards to our documentation, case notes, things of that nature. So what can us as BCBAs, how can we prepare for that change when it comes to the future of AI? Because I know a lot of us are kind of old school where we're not using AI as much, or it could be lack of the education and the resources of knowing that there's different AI tools out there. So when it comes to BCBA, how can we prepare to make using AI the norm in our daily practices?
Yeah, it's such a great question. I think if we get this right, if Alpaca Health gets this right, a clinician's day will be spent 100% on thinking about best quality clinical delivery for your clients. And that's very different than what most BCBA's days look like today. And so I think if we have all of this extra time to think about clinical care quality and delivering the best services to the most number of clients, I think that means that BCBAs will have more time in their day to do things that they don't have the ability to do right now. For instance, reading the most up-to-date research about what are new best practices for quality ABA delivery, talking to other BCBAs about how to best take care of this client, talking with other stakeholders, other caregivers, other service delivery providers like SLPs, like mental health therapists, about how they're treating this client and coordinating care in that way. So if technology like Alpaca Health is really able to take that non-clinical work away, that leaves up and frees up so much more time. And as a kind of field, BCBAs, we have to think about how to kind of spend that time, right? And what are new ways we can use that time to be more effective for our clients. I think the other piece is if technology is kind of doing the menial work and also able to surface you information. Like imagine ChatGPT, you would ask any question, it's able to give you a generally pretty accurate answer in just a couple of seconds. Instead of being really good at having the answers or having all the facts in your brain to spit off and rattle off, I think actually it becomes much more important to ask the right questions, not just to AI, but also to clients, to the stakeholders in life, to caregivers. Ask the right questions to get the information you need to make a good decision. And so I think that's just a different framework of how we thought about work, right? Like traditionally, we've always thought of quote-unquote smart people as people who just know a lot of information. Well, now all the world's information is readily accessible at one question, one chat message, right? And so what does actually quality ABA look like? It means BCBAs who are really good at asking the right questions that, if you answer them, can directly impact how ABA is being delivered.
Yes, and I don't know if you're familiar, but as BCBAs, we have an ethics code we need to follow. And in this moment in 2024, there's no specific ethics code surrounding how to use AI, but I wouldn't be surprised long-term in the future if that's something they end up incorporating into our ethics code due to the ongoing process of AI constantly being instilled in daily practices, not just for BCBAs, but just for everybody. And another thing I do want our audience to keep in mind, if you do listen to this and you're like, oh, wow, I'm going to use, Alpaca Health, I'm going to use it for my assessments, and your supervisor does give you the okay, yeah, you can use it, it's all right. You have to make sure you get verbal consent from whoever your client is in the moment. That is just considered best practice, because it's one of those things where, yes, it's an effective tool that we would like to use, but a lot of the families and the people we serve may still be uneasy with you using this kind of software when it comes to the treatment of care. So make sure you get consent from the families. You make them aware how it's going to be used, when you're going to use it. That way they're not blindsided in any way. And it also makes your job way more effective and easier. So, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And with that being said, do you have any keywords or resources that we could use if we just want to get more background on how to use AI, just based on your experience and things that you may know? Any different books we should read, any specific literature out there that we should look into if we want to just get more information?
Yeah, I think that Professor David Cox and Professor Adrian Jennings, two really great colleagues that I've worked with and gotten advice from over the past few months, they've written some published journal articles about the ethics of AI and ABA. And so I think those are really great articles to read just to get a starting point for thinking about AI use in your daily work. I think even in those articles, David and Adrian note how early it is for even understanding what AI is and how it can be used. And so really their articles are just a bunch of questions that as a field we have to think about. So I would really point folks to those journal articles if they're interested in learning more. And I would say sort of like the last piece is, if you're interested in trying AI out, just give it a shot, right? You don't have to do it with real clients. You can just do it with you and a friend, you and a fellow BCBA, and get a sense of what it actually feels like to use it. because when the agency you're in suggests you guys use it, or when your colleague uses it, starts using it, or even when a parent starts using it with you, right? You sort of want to know what it looks like. So would really encourage everybody to just give all the free tools out there a shot, like Alpaca Assistant, but also some of the general AI tools that are out there, like Google Gemini, OpenAI, Claude, so many things that are totally free, takes a second to make an account, give a try, and that way you at least have some understanding of what people are talking about when we say things like AI, artificial intelligence.
All right. Well, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us today, Micheal. For all of you who may want to follow Micheal to continue to see what his future endeavors are in regards to Alpaca Health and other things, I will have his social media information posted in the comment section. And also that article he was talking about. As he was speaking, I actually looked it up. So that's going to be in the comment section as well. And I am going to have an elaborate one-pager for you guys posted in my blog post. That will be in the comment section. That way you can have a deeper understanding and kind of know what your options are when it comes to using AI and Alpaca Health. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Micheal. See you guys later.
Thanks so much for having me.
Bye.
Bye.